Hey, all, how's it going? GetMeowth here. So I'm sure you guys have heard by now that we're getting Nerfs, which is awesome. Should be coming soon, TM. But I've been asked about this a lot in my Twitch chat, so I just wanted to kind of get my ideas down in a video, so I don't have to stop repeating myself, right? But I'm really excited for the changes. I know a lot of people uh, are pretty pessimistic about some of the changes, but I'm pretty excited, and I would like to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about them today. Quick short video. But before I get into that, just make sure that you guys drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this kind of content, and drop a comment below with your opinions about the nerfs. So starting off, first one, Kael'Thas Sunstrider going from 6 to 7. This is like probably the nerf that I'm the most hesitant to say the effect, because Druid really doesn't care too much about mana, right? They're the class that cares the least about mana changes because they have so many ramp effects, right? They're running Innervates already, they're running Bio Projects already, and they're running Overgrowths now as well. The big change here with Kael'Thas Sunstrider is not only is that turn coming one turn later, right? Which is maybe relevant if you're playing a deck like Even Shaman, but kind of late game, when you have 10 mana and you play Kael'Thas, what you used to be able to do is you would play like Innervate Bioproject Kael'Thas, and then you would play, you would have 4 mana left over. So once you played the Overflow or the UI, you'd be able to play something like a Jade Blossom, and then a 1 mana spell, and then a second big spell. With Kael'Thas being at 7, you only really have 3 mana left over, so unless you have specifically Innervate or Bioproject, it's going to limit the amount of scenarios where you get to pop off twice with Kael'Thas, which is pretty relevant, right? It is pretty relevant. However, I don't think it's going to decrease the level of Kael'Thas's power too significantly to make it that you don't run him in the deck. I think the big deck building change that's going to happen now is if you're really, really dependent upon Kael'Thas for your deck, I think you actually consider cutting stuff like Keeper Steladris or Yogg. I kind of already regret saying that. And run stuff like Barnes, which I really hate saying, but to kind of give you 2 Kael'Thas's, one on turn 5 and then one later in the game. So I think Barnes might actually become more of a staple in Jade Druid. But yeah, in general, I don't think this nerf kills Jade Druid. It does take it down a little bit of a power level, which is nice though. Next up, we have Bad Luck Albatross going from 3 to 4. This effectively kills the card. No even deck wants to play 4 mana 4/3. No Q block's going to run a 4 mana 4/3. This is good because this is actually like it used to be. Albatross was, oh, I have a spot open. What card do I put in here? Whatever. Let's run Bad Luck Albatross. And now it's properly costed for a tech card, which I like, which means it's gone from the meta, which I like even more as a fan of Reader decks. Okay, and then we have Frenzied Fellwing going from a 3/3 to a 3/2. This also pretty much kills the card. A 3/2 is just so much easier to deal with in the meta than a 3/3. And I think most of the Fellwings came in this neutral package generally with Pirates. I think the card's probably still okay to run, but it's so much weaker now that you actually have to really consider, okay, I know I'm playing an aggressive deck, but Odd Rogue Daggers, Odd Demon Hunter just pings. It's so easy to kill now that I really don't want to run it, but we'll see if it makes the cut and stuff like Kingsbane Rogue or decks like that. Then we're getting into some of the Demon Hunter changes for Standard. So we have Ultras the Outcast from 3 to 4. While it's getting +1 attack. Ultras never really even saw play in Wild. The only really Demon Hunter deck that's viable right now in Wild is Odd Demon Hunter, and so it becoming 4 mana isn't really that big of a deal. I have been playing a little bit of Standard recently, and the change that I would have really loved to see to this card was to just not hit face, but obviously that's something that they want to keep as part of the card. And so yeah, slowing it down, making it harder to combo with, should be a good nerf for Standard. But the nerf that really hurts for Demon Hunter in Wild is Battle Fiend. So Battle Fiend is going from 2 attack 2 health to 1 attack 2 health. And then we have Gladebound Adept from 7/4 to 6/4. So these are both just toning back the power of these cards that are staples in Odd Demon Hunter. I'm just going to skip over to the Gladebound Adept nerf. I don't think this card as nerf is going to be super impactful. You're still running Gladebound Adept. The effect is still pretty powerful. But the Battle Fiend nerf just is super relevant because with it starting at 1/2, your opponent can like face tank it twice if they're a druid. Easier, right? And it's starting at 1 attack over the course of the game. right? So if you imagine the Battle Fiend gets in like 2 or 3 attacks on average per Battle Fiend, okay? So assuming each of those Battle Fiends gets in 3 attacks and you're running 2 Battle Fiends, that's 6 less damage on like per game, right? With this nerf to Battle Fiend, and so that 6 damage has to come from somewhere to finish the game before Druids start gaining a bunch of armor or before deck plays Reno. So yeah, the Battle Fiend nerf really hurts. You still run Battle Fiend because of the synergy with the Warglaves and the hero power. It's better than Lowly Squire. But like, I actually think you're getting to the point where you have to start considering like cutting mana burn or cutting some of your 3-cost cards and running stuff like Battle Mage or maybe the Lowly Squire, just to make sure that you have powerful, consistent turn 1, turn 2 plays. But yeah, I mean, I think these are really good nerfs to Demon Hunter because Demon Hunter is strong. But like a Battle Fiend was kind of busted from day one. But it is a little bit sad seeing like the new class kind of getting gutted in Wild so far. Yeah, so the next nerf is a nerf that I've been wanting for like years. So anybody that watches my stream knows about my sack pack rants and how I think it's just a dumb design and like dumb flavor, and it was such a stupid swingy tech card that made Q-Block Mirrors the biggest joke of a matchup ever. But yeah, sack pack is finally going to only being able to destroy a friendly demon. True to its name now, sacrificing your own cards. This card is now dead, pretty much in Wild. I don't think Q-Block ever really wants to run this anymore. So yeah, Sack Pact is dead. Thank goodness. And then the next nerf is Blood Bloom. Thank God for this nerf. Kills Darkest Hour, does not kill Mecha'thun, which is awesome. Like, Darkest Hour was so dumb, and now Blood Bloom, Darkest Hour is more in line with something like Naga's Giant's Warlock, at an appropriate turn, right? Turn 7, turn 8. I think the earliest that you can high roll with Blood Bloom is like turn 7 now with Darkest Hour, which is just, that's if you have the Uber nuts, and even then it's probably still not good enough. But yeah, and for all of those of you that are in love with Mecha'thun Warlock, there is no need to fear. This does not kill your favorite deck. I actually played a bunch of games with post-nerf Mecha'thun Warlock on stream 2 days ago, and I went 7-2 with the deck. Literally just taking out Blood Bloom and putting in Kael'Thas. The Kael'Thas going to 7 mana doesn't affect this deck. And so you can still combo pretty consistently and pretty quickly by playing any 3 mana spell or less. So most of the time it's going to be Solarium. You Solarium, you play Dollmaster Dorian, you play Plot Twist, and then your Cataclysm is now free with Kael'Thas. Pretty easy combo. It works just as well. Again, I went 7-2 around rank 500 Legend on an A, so it's still a very viable deck. So it does not kill that deck for those of you that do love it, but it does kill Darkest Hour. So praise Ixar. Thank you so much for nerfing that card. Libram of Justice. I've been playing a ton of Libram Paladin. This is a nice buff. I don't think it's super relevant for the wild meta though. But I'm going to enjoy a little buff to my current favorite pet deck right now. And now let's talk about the card that everybody is up in arms about because they wanted this card to be killed, and honestly, I kind of wanted it to be killed too. And I wanted, if they were going to nerf it and keep it playable, I wanted it to be a more, elegant nerf. Say like spells, mage spells that insert your deck, so that avoids coins and bananas, or making just the Time Warp itself cost 7 or 8. And also I think they needed to remove the interaction with Vargoth in general, but Blizzard tends to love to keep the soul of the card the same, so I completely understand why they went about the nerf this way. I will say, everybody was saying, 8 spells doesn't matter, it's just as easy to complete. That's not true, right? It is harder to complete, and a lot of streamers have actually gone through this exercise of, well, let me play games now and let me see how many times that the nerf to 8 mana or to 8 spells was actually relevant. And first of all, I think that's a faulty exercise because the meta is going to change, right, with the set of nerfs, and I think trying to make any claims based upon this current meta is just false and misleading anybody that you share this with. But also, I think the big thing about Open Waygate change here is, on average, it's gonna, it's supposed to slow down your quest completion, okay? And what's going to happen is, against slow control decks, you're still perfectly fine and it doesn't matter, all right? Which is fine because that's kind of the point of a combo deck, is to beat up on the slow decks. Okay? But what it does mean is that most of the time, okay, I can't tell you the amount of times that I was playing something like Pirate Warrior or even Shaman or Secret Mage, and I was like, I just need them to not kill me this turn, and I win. Okay? And on average, having them cast 2 more spells is going to give you that extra turn. Okay? And so when they give you that extra turn, right, it's going to make your matchups against aggro decks so much worse, right? Because aggro decks, it was already such a fine line that you're walking. I think the fact that you are now more susceptible to aggro means that you actually are not going to be the best deck in the format anymore. Okay, it's gonna scale back the power of this deck, and I think this is a really nice nerf actually, because it keeps the card playable, okay, and it keeps the deck playable. So it doesn't piss off all those people that spent time learning and investing into this deck and learning how to play it, because the deck is still playable and the deck is still good. It's just no longer so out of line from the other decks. So I respect this nerf. We'll see if Quest Mage is still super dominant post nerf, but I'm excited and hopeful for this nerf. I believe in Team 5, even though a lot of people don't. But so yeah, I think those are the nerfs that we're getting sometime this week. And so I guess just a little bit of my predictions for what the meta is going to look like. Well, again, this is kind of a faulty exercise because this is purely speculative. So right now, Quest Mage is so much higher tier than everything else, and therefore Darkest Hour is probably the most consistent counter, I would say. And with both of those, basically Darkest Hour getting deleted and Quest Mage coming back to the pack, and Jade Druid coming down in power level, I think you're going to see a rise in decks like Reno Priest and Q Block and even Shaman, kind of decks that were being held down because of the presence of those 2 decks. And stuff like Pirate Warrior and Secret Mage are going to get a lot better because they're going to get a lot better because of the Quest Mage nerf, right? So they're able to pick on that deck a lot more. And I think we're going to get a pretty significant shakeup in the meta, even with these kind of minimal nerfs to Wild. So I'm excited for them, and those are my thoughts on the nerfs. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the nerfs, whether you agree or disagree, down in the comments below. And if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It's free, and it supports me a lot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.